Wow. So that's how you fuck up. Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to another video. This time I'm doing something a little bit different with my movie reviews. I don't even know if I'm gonna consider this a movie review. I might call it something else in the future, but right now I am talking about a little movie called, here, let me bring it up. Here it is, The Snowman, which, oh shit, hold on. Sorry, that's the wrong poster. The Snowman, starring my boy, Michael Fassbender. Michael Fassbender, who I personally love. Directed by the guy that directed Let the Right One In and Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, I'm surprised I actually said that title that fast, by the way. Was a good movie. It was a little slow, but it had a lot of really good moments and some great acting. And it was a good movie. It was suspenseful enough, you know. But I love Let the Right One In. Even the not sequel, I'm sorry, the remake was amazing. But I thought the original is so freaking good. You have to see it, especially since it's Halloween. It's a perfect movie to watch for Halloween, and then watch the remake, because the remake, while it is very similar, is still really good on its own. So watch both of those. So I was expecting this to be great just because of the director, but you also had, of course, Michael Fassbender, who I think is one of the best actors out there right now, and it's actually based on a book, supposedly a great book that is based around and this is the main character's name. I'm not gonna make fun of it. I'm lying, but I'm gonna try to refrain from the Harry Hole saga, I guess you call it, or novels. I guess it's just a series, like the Harry Hole series. Like, you know, you have Jack Reacher and you have Alex Cross. You have all these detective characters. Jack Reacher's a little different, but whatever. You have all these characters, and Harry Hole is a series of books revolving around this character, of course, Harry Hole in this movie, played by Michael Fassbender, who investigates murders from certain serial killers and stuff that always have like a name or something. And this is actually, I think, the 7th book. So they're starting off this series. There hasn't been any other Harry Hole movies in the past. They're starting it off with the 7th book, which I'm assuming is the most, I don't know, popular, I guess. I'm assuming it's the most popular. That's why they're starting with this one. It has a kind of a sexy title, you know, The Snowman. Oh shit! You thought snowmen were cute and, you know, for kids? Nah, this time there's gonna be heads, real heads on these snowmen. So it had a lot going for it. It has an interesting enough premise. Sure, it's a kind of, look at this poster. It's laughable, especially if you watch the movie. If you watch the movie and then see this poster, it's extremely laughable, and we'll talk about that in a second. But oh, I was kind of excited for this movie. I thought it would be one of the better thrillers of this year. You know, maybe not Oscar caliber, but good. You know, like a solid like 7.5, 8 out of 10. You know, something like that. You know, good. Memorable enough. And it was memorable, but for a completely different reason. I should say it's going to be obviously a much more longer discussion style of video, and I might do more of these in the future for movies where it's a little bit messier and stuff, and, you know, I'm stumbling on my words here and there. I'm trying to think of stuff to say. So if that is something you don't like, I'm just going to warn you right here. That's definitely what this is going to be. But if you want to hear me rant about this movie, hold on, because I'm about to get started. All right, The Snowman is a movie that starts. That's a good start right there. The movie actually was a movie. Like, it started, and like there was a picture, and there was images, and there was also audio to accompany the images. So that's a good start. You know, the movie actually is there. So I'll give it credit there. But the movie has an opening scene that is so laughably terrible, edited to shit, and incomprehensible, with some of the worst sound mixing, sound editing, sound anything, and some of the worst acting, writing, like I already said, regular, just straight up video editing. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how bad the first like 5 minutes of this movie are. And it sets up the movie perfectly. It really does. Because admittedly, the rest of the movie doesn't have that kind of editing for the rest of the movie. Like, you know, like the editing isn't that bad. The sound mixing's still not great, but it's not as bad as the first 5 minutes of the movie. It does set up the fact that this movie's going to be completely incomprehensible, and you're just not going to understand a fucking thing. You know, you'll understand, like, when they reveal the killer or something like that. You'll understand that. But you won't understand why we're with certain characters and we're talking to this character, we're talking to that character, and why we're investigating this character and why this character just didn't appear again, why this character did that. You won't understand any of it. Maybe if you read the book, even though I heard this is heavily changed from the book. Like, the ending, I think, supposedly is completely different than the book. It's so fucking messy, this entire movie. It feels like it was supposed to be a miniseries. Like, it was supposed to be like maybe a 6-episode, like, True Detective style mystery miniseries, where, oh, we have to figure out who the Snowman killer is. You know, oh, he keeps murdering people, cutting heads off of women and putting on top of snowmen and stuff. Oh, look at this poster. Look, Mr. Police, you could have saved her. I gave you all the clues. It's already setting up this, like, this kind of like maybe Seven style, like, detective versus killer thing where it's like, oh, we have to outsmart one another or something. That's not what the movie is at all. And it feels like there's maybe at least an hour of this movie cut out and messed around with and reshot and stuff. Like an hour of this movie that is just not in the movie anymore for whatever fucking reason. And it not only it feels so generic, but it feels so, it feels like, what's the word I'm looking for? It just feels off. There's a lot of stuff here where I'm just like, I don't know why this is happening. I mean, I know why it's happening in the story. Like, the story part, I get that. I get why we're here. But why, in terms of, like, why are we wasting runtime on this? Why are we investigating this guy? Okay, what's the point of this? What's the point of that? Okay, I should say I'm probably going to get into spoilers. So right here, I'm going to tell you right here, the movie is bad. It's fucking atrocious. It is one of the worst movies I've seen this year in terms of not just being lazy, you know, like the Emoji Movie or Transformers or some of these other movies where it's just like, just do the same shit we've done before, or just whatever, say the obvious jokes, you know. It's not an Adam Sandler movie, but it is one of the worst because it had potential. It had so much potential, and you could tell the studio just fucked it all up. From what I heard, the director even said, like, they only filmed 15% of the fucking script. How do you only film 15% of a script? I mean, I would say maybe the script was that bad, but I don't know. I don't see how just completely foregoing any sort of satisfying conclusion could be better than just, you know, filming whatever was on the script or whatever. This movie doesn't just feel rushed. It feels completely like, what's the word I'm looking for? Unearned, I guess. It just feels like a movie that's going through the motions at times, and it just doesn't make sense at all. And every scene is unearned. Like, whenever you find out, oh, it could be this guy, it feels completely unearned. I'm not talking about it feels unearned to us. It feels unearned to the characters. Like, why is this happening? I don't know. It's just like, we need to get it over with. Like, the movie's almost over. We have to have the characters know this and stuff. We have to have characters talk on phones to tell them, like, all right, this character's doing this now, go over there. Okay, Michael Fassbender, hairy hole, walks over and is like, hey, what are you doing there? What are you doing? I want to investigate this. It's just it's a mess. It is a fucking mess. This review's a mess, but whatever. All right, so I'm gonna get into spoilers now. So y'all might want to go away. All right, so if you haven't seen it and you really want to see it, don't see it. But if you really want to see it, come back to this review later when you've seen it. You know, I don't know how you'll see it. If you're going to pay for it, it's a bad idea. It's a fucking boring movie. I'm telling you this too. It's boring. It's nonsensical. It is ridiculous. It is edited to shit. Characters do things just randomly, and it feels like they're just doing it because they read the script and said, oh, I guess I have to do that now. So they just go over here and, oh, I found the head. There it is. I don't know why I knew it was here, but I walked over and there it is. It's right on that snowman. Cool. All right. So again, I'm telling you right now, spoilers. At 9 minutes and 8 seconds, spoilers. I'll put that in the comments. All right, so now let's talk about this movie, because again, this is going to be a very much of a free-form discussion. I might do more of these if people liked it, but I want to just bring up this. All right, I got the trailer here. All right, these are actually two of the trailers. Someone combined both the first and second trailer, which I actually never saw the second trailer. I did now, but when it first came out, I didn't watch it. And I want to say one thing here. His trailer, whoever edited it, I will give them credit, because they, even watching these trailers makes me go, this could be interesting. I mean, I already fucking saw the movie, so I know it's not, but this looks like it could be interesting. Okay, actually, you know what? Let me go back. I'm sorry. I just want to go back to this poster for 1 second. Like I said before, the trailers gave it, like, made it seem like it was going to be a kind of like a cat and mouse game between a detective and the serial killer. You know, like serial killer, like this poster would suggest, is toying with the detective and leaving little clues and stuff like, oh, I want you to get close enough and then I'm going to back you away or whatever. You know, like he's just messing with him. That is not evident at all in the fucking movie. Not only that, there is a part in the trailer, both of the trailers actually, where you can hear supposedly the killer talking to Harry on a phone saying like, I gave you all the clues. This exactly right here. Mr. Police, you could have saved her. I gave you all the clues. And that is not in the movie. There is certain scenes, like certain like people that die in the trailer that doesn't happen in the movie. Like the character might die, but it's completely different. Like they reshot it, or it's like a completely different scene or something like that. There's a character that is a twin in the movie played by Chloe Sevigny. I think that's how you say her last name. She's a twin. Why? I don't know. There's a twin. So one of them can die and the other one goes, oh my god, my twin. That sucks. All right. The one that has, if you see the trailer, you see the head on the snowman. That's Chloe Sevigny. So if you really want to see Chloe Sevigny again, you get to see her head on a snowman in a very odd scene right before she dies. Like it's so odd. She like sees a little baby doll. Like the snowman like taunts her with a baby doll because she had an abortion. Her character had an abortion, and that's why the snowman doesn't like certain women for reasons. You know, his MO is ridiculous, but whatever. So he kills her after she's like, what the fuck is that? Is that a baby doll or whatever? She's touching it. He just knocks her out with something and then like cuts her head off with one of those garrots or whatever. Like, well, it's not garrot, but it's like one of those garrots that I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but it's like one of those automated one where you press the button and just goes and cuts whatever. It's pretty much just made to cut heads off. That's all it's used for. I mean, I'm sure it's used for other things, but I mean, let's be honest. That's for heads. Like that was designed for heads. They secretly were like, yeah, we'll make this for, you know, whatever, cutting certain things like wood or whatever, but really it's made to cut fucking heads. And there's a couple scenes where it gets grisly. Like there's a part where you see a body that's all fucking cut up. Like that's one of his things he does. The snowman killer cuts heads off of women and puts it on snowmen, and also cuts up people into little pieces. So you see like an aerial shot of this one person dead, and just like pieces are like spread out, and it's a disturbing shot. I will give it that. Because it's like one of their legs are like cut up into little pieces. So it's just like this long piece of, I can't show it because they don't show it in the trailer or anything, but it's like this, it looks like a long leg, except it's just like cut up in little pieces. I don't know, like if you cut up a sausage and like have little spaces in between, that's what it looked like. And it was a little creepy, I will admit that. There's also one scene where someone gets shot in the head and their head explodes. By the way, terrible CG, but still, whatever. It brought some life to the movie, even if it was bad. It was at least something that was happening. And their head gets shot off, and it's actually this shot in the trailer. Let me show you. This shot right here, the one that everybody was like, oh my god, that's terrifying. This right here. No, not right there. It's actually that shot. He gets his head blown off, and then the snowman killer puts a snowman head on the body of this character. You know what? Fuck, I'll tell you who it is. Val Kilmer's in the movie for approximately 45 seconds. Don't even know why he was in the movie. He did fucking nothing. He walked around, he shot a gun once, and he got drunk, and then he gets his head blown off. There's a reason why his character is even in the movie at all. Later towards the end of the movie, which is supposedly a twist, even though I called it immediately. There's a lot of twists in this movie that is obvious, so fucking obvious. Even if you've never seen a movie before, you will probably call it like, oh, that's this and this is that, so whatever. But anyway, the snowman puts a snowman head on top of where the head was, and that's a creepy shot, because in this you don't see it, but in the movie, like, it's actually like half of his head is gone, so it's like from here up, it's gone completely, and he just puts like this the snowman head on top, and you see like blood start getting into the snow and stuff. It's actually a creepy shot because they're playing like eerie music and stuff. And it's weird. It feels like it's like more of a dream sequence than anything else, where it's placed in the movie. That's another thing, man. Like I already said this, but just the way the movie is edited, it's just abysmal. It's just like, I don't know what's going on. It feels like, you know what it reminded me of? It kind of reminded me of how Suicide Squad was edited, where they didn't have they had these scenes that they meant to have as actual scenes, but they didn't know where to put it, so they said, ah, fuck, it's a flashback. That's kind of what this did in time at times, where it's just like they had this scene where Val Kilmer gets killed because they're investigating, like, oh, I don't think Val Kilmer actually killed himself. Because they think he killed himself, but it was actually the Snowman killer, because Val Kilmer's character was a detective who was also investigating the Snowman killer. And they're like, I don't think he actually committed suicide. And then it cuts back to him just getting shot in the face. So right there it's confirmed. You know, like, there's no suspense at all. Like, did he commit suicide? No, you immediately see that the Snowman killer just blows his fucking head off. Like Val Kilmer yells, "Hey, let go of my shotgun!" And he gets shot in the fucking head. And it's fucking. By the way, Val Kilmer, I love Val Kilmer. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm talking about early Val Kilmer, like Tombstone, and even though he wasn't a great Batman Forever. Stuff like that. I love him in Tombstone. He's so good in that movie. But and yeah, I love him in Top Secret. I love him in that. I thought that was a funny movie. I thought he was really funny in it. But I like him. But he should not be in movies anymore. First of all, he looks fucked up. I'm sorry. I think someone said he had like throat cancer or something like that. I don't know if that would really change the way your face looks like. But he looks like if you're into B movies, he looks like oh, who's the big jawed dude? I forgot his name. He passed away recently. Oh no, I forgot his name. But his face just looks so messed up. He does not look like he should be in movies anymore. And from what I heard, he's gonna be in Top Gun, the sequel. Oh, I don't know how. Like, unless, you know, they CG his face or something. I mean, I guess he could just look like that, but he looks really fucked up. I wish I had a picture of him in this movie, but you don't ever see him. You only see him once in the trailer, and it's a behind him shot. Actually, it's right here. It's the shot. That's him right there. So when he shoots the thing, and that's actually the scene. Maybe you'll see the body. Let's see. You see those birds right there? Yeah, you can see the body there. You can kind of see the body there. That's the body right there, right? I was talking about that's all cut up right there, that little schmickle. You can see like little pieces are separated from that. But that's him right there. That's his character. Again, he's in it for like approximate screen time 45 seconds. And he does have one funny scene where he just says he's having like a birthday party or something like that. He's not having a birthday party, but he works as a detective, of course, and they're having a birthday party for him. And he's like, "Fuck this." And he goes outside of his office window or whatever. I guess there's a balcony there. He's like, "I'm just going to leave this way." He just leaves that way. It was weird, but there's a lot of really just weird stuff in this movie, okay? Another thing I want to talk about, and let's see if I can find it. I don't know if I'll be able to, but they show, like I said, Chloe Sevigny. Oh, you know, actually, let's talk about this. They keep showing these in the trailer, like he leaves little messages for the police. Come and look at the snowman I made you. That never happens. Again, like I said, there is no cat and mouse game being played here, which would have been interesting. You know, have this crazy guy that's like really one step ahead of the police or whatever, one step ahead of Fassbender. This never happens. This never happens. Okay? He sends one letter in the beginning of the movie that says like, by the way, the snowman looks completely different in that letter. It doesn't look like the one you see on the poster right here. It looks completely different, but that's besides the point. But he sends one letter that says like, oh, I don't even remember what it said. It didn't say any of the stuff that you see in these trailers or on the poster. And that's it. That's the only letter he ever gets, and that's it. You know, you always you keep seeing the same letter, but that's it. You never see little messages at the crime scenes or whatnot. You don't see these, which would have been interesting. Like, and also, that's another thing. The snowman thing, like that's his calling card. That's not a big part of the story at all. Like the calling card part, you know, like with 7, I guess it wasn't really a calling card, but it was more like just like, oh, they figured out it was the 7 deadly sins. So the character had, I don't want to say who it was, but in 7 the character had something, you know, that was the reason. I mean, that was the reason why the movie was called 7, you know, 7 deadly sins. That's what he went, that was his MO, I guess. Here, Like, it's Snowman, and he puts a snowman there after he kills someone, but, you know, and you think, like, oh, okay, maybe it's because he puts the heads on the snowman. He only does that once. Every other time, it's either he cuts the body up and kind of scatters them, or he just kills someone, or sometimes he makes it so that it's hard to find the bodies or whatever, and sometimes he doesn't. It's such just a baffling fuck up. Like, it's just a villain that is not interesting one bit, because you don't know who the villain is until literally the last 10 minutes of the movie. The movie, by the way, cuts off in a way it's just like, okay. And it leaves all these different characters that you've met along the way, who, by the way, aren't interesting at all. But it leaves all these characters that, if you were interested, leaves them in the dust. Like, characters after they stop becoming witnesses, or not witnesses, but suspects, after they stop becoming suspects, they're gone from the movie. They might as well just, like, fucking, oh, you're not a suspect anymore. They might as well just, like, disappear in the wind. Like, they don't exist anymore. Like, J.K. Simmons' character, after he stops being a suspect, he's not in the movie anymore. And we have to hear about 4 fucking speeches from J.K. Simmons' character, because he plays, like, some, like, I don't even know, like a politician or some shit, and he has, like, a speech every time you see him. He's always at, like, this nice, like, dinner hall or whatever, and there's a bunch of fancy people with him, and he keeps, like, talking like, ho, everybody, here's another speech for you, and that's every time you see him. Also, there's, like, a side thing in this movie that never gets resolved about, like, J.K. Simmons, like, has sex with women a lot, which, hey, that's good on him. But he, like, I guess there's, like, a prostitution thing going on, because there's one character that is, like, I guess a prostitute that at first looks like she's going to be a big part of the story, but gets she just vanishes completely. She's not even a suspect. She just vanishes completely. And you think she's going to be a thing, but she's not at all. Like, there's even a part where you see her, like, peering out of a window at Michael Fassbender and Rebecca Ferguson's character, who's like a recruit, or not a trainee. Like, she's a recruit. She's a new recruit. And she's just, like, peering, and then there's a thing later where she's like, hey, is there somebody else in this house? I could have sworn I saw someone, like, looking out the window. And you're thinking, oh, they're going to ask her questions, and then they're going to get close to the snowman killer because of this. Nope. You see her one more time after that, and she opens the door for someone. What the fuck is going on in this movie? What is going on? Who fucked this up? I don't believe it's the director. I don't even believe it's the writer. It has to be the studio. The studio fucked this movie up. I know it. I fucking feel it down in my core. They fucked this movie. Okay, and that's really depressing, because, you know, Snowman, you know, it might not be the most interesting, well, not interesting, but one of the most unique premises. You know, it's just a guy that kills people. Sure, he uses snowmen, but that's it. You know, it's a thriller about a psychotic guy that kills people. You know, he kills women. We've seen that before, okay? But considering we get just nothing but shitty blockbusters all the time, and you know, Marvel movies and Star Wars movies, of course, which are always solid usually, but we get really bad ones here and there, and then we get really good ones that don't do well at the box office and stuff, but we never really get too many really good, like, mainstream, like, smaller budgeted movies, you know. We don't get too many of those until, like, Oscar season. I was really hoping this would be one of those movies that just, like, stands out, like, it's real good, you know. No, it stands out all right, but not in a good way. This movie's really, it's fucked. It is horrible. It's so bad. I don't even know what else to talk about. I wish I had other people to talk to about this, but I know no one's gonna see this. Let's see if there's anything like, yeah, like that doesn't happen. Hello, Mr. Police. Like that snowman with the stick arms like that, with the goofy looking eyes and shit, and the stupid ass. It's dumb. It's so stupid, and it's just it's a lie. It's all a lie. Like, every trailer, like, I want to even see if I can find this scene. They show Chloe Sevigny dying. Let's see. Oh, by the way, this shot. That shot is pretty creepy. You just see that. You don't see a close-up of it. You just see, like, from far away, someone blew their head off. But that's another time where it's just like, okay, so that's it. Like, there's another like, that's it moment, and after that it's like, oh, that's it. By the way, this is the same character that had the prostitute in his house, that I was talking about. The prostitute that was I guess just not a character. She was just there for no reason. Let's see. Oh, that's Chloe Sevigny's character. Let's see if you get to see her. Yeah, it should be right here. Yeah, it's right here. So this happens. She gets chased and she lands on a bear trap. I'm assuming the Snowman killer put that there. By the way, the scene doesn't fucking happen. It doesn't. What I explained earlier with the doll, that's what happens. This doesn't happen. And when I saw this trailer after seeing the movie, I was like, maybe this was supposed to be her twin sister getting killed, because they put a twin sister in there for what seems like no fucking reason, because the character doesn't come back. The twin never comes back. I thought maybe she'd come back to say, like, I want to help you find who killed my sister or whatever. Nope. There's even a father character in this movie, or a husband, I should say. But there's a husband and a little girl, his daughter, who are really want to know what happened to the wife, the mother. And I'm pretty sure she gets killed, but we don't really get to see them grieve or anything. We don't get to see them do anything besides just come back later to say, like, hey, drop on their clue or something, like get closer to something. So none of these characters feel real at all. They don't feel like real people. They're just there to do things. And oh, by the way, I want to say something right here. I want to see if I can get to it. I don't know if they show this character. I'll just explain it. There is a character in this fucking movie that right when he shows up, you're like, that's the killer. That's the killer. Right when he shows up and he says one thing where I was like, oh, well, that's definitely the killer now. There is a character that is dating, I think dating Michael Fassbender's past girlfriend or wife or whatever. By the way, Michael Fassbender has this whole side plot with his kid. He likes him, but he doesn't really hang out with him too much. He's an alcoholic, by the way. Fucking cliche. But it's fine as long as you have an interesting character, which you don't. Michael Fassbender tries, but you don't have an interesting character here. So I was expecting, like, this character not to be the killer, and I'm just like, oh, well, that would be too obvious, you know? And this character is definitely, I mean, this character I'm talking about, this boyfriend of the wife is the killer. And right when he showed up and he started talking about, like, hey, Michael Fassbender, hey, what's up? He doesn't call him that, obviously, that's the actor's name. But hey, what's up, man? You know, it sucks, you know, but we're cool. Yeah, you should, like, get back with your son or whatever and whatnot. And then he mentioned something about, like, hey, man, you're not sleeping, right? You can't sleep. I got this prescription of medicine. I'm like, okay, why is this scene even in the movie? And then later on, you get way more hints. Like, there's a whole hint about, like, how his father, he doesn't have a father or something like that, or, like, we fathers or whatever. He's so obviously the killer. You figure that out so fucking quickly. It's a mess. It really is. I don't even know what else to say about this. I know this was an awful video. I apologize, but it's a little hard when you don't have anybody else to discuss things with. But this character was so obviously the killer, and then when they reveal it, it is such a whimper of a reveal. It's like, it's so obvious, because this character for the most part acted pretty cool up until this point. You know, I hate when they do that. I hate when a character is revealed to be the killer, and this character for the whole rest of the movie before it was, you know, he's a cool guy or a girl or whatever, or a woman, I should say. And right when they're revealed to be the killer, they get like the like blank stare, and they talk in like riddles and stuff, like, I don't know, what are you doing here? Like, you were just a normal person, and now, like, because the movie revealed it in a completely different scene in a different area, like one character in a completely different town will discover, like, he's the Snowman killer, and then they cut back to the guy who's the Snowman killer talking to his wife or girlfriend or whatever, and he's just like, yeah, I'm evil. Like, it's so fucking bad and generic and poorly written too, I should say that. And there's so many scenes, like, how did you know that the head was there? Like, there's so many scenes, like, where they just, like, show up and they're investigating something. Like, there's a lot of scenes too of just people walking around and nothing happening, talking, and I feel like these are supposed to be, like, setting the mood or whatever, and, like, oh, look at the cinematography. And the cinematography is okay, but there's nothing interesting to look at. There's nothing really eye-catching. You know, it looks okay. That's about it. And the editing is, oh my god. I mean, the editing in the first 5 minutes is horrible, and it gets a little bit better, like I said, but it's still not good. By the way, the first shot of the movie is edited in a way where it feels like it's supposed to be like like a dream sequence because it's going so fucking quick. It's like guys in the house, guys fixing radiator, guys sitting down. Like, what the fuck is going on? It's like a jumping around. I'm like, anyway, this was just me ranting about this movie. So I apologize if you watched this whole thing and just, it's me saying the same thing over and over again. But again, I watched this movie like 2 hours ago at this point. So I apologize if I forgot things to talk about. The snowman thing doesn't come into play at all. There's one cool shot that's not even really that good of a shot, but compared to everything else, it's better. Did I mention anything about Val Kilmer? I forgot to mention that. Val Kilmer in this movie, he's only in it for 45 seconds, but he is, for some reason, dubbed over. Like, they dubbed him over with his own, I'm pretty sure it's his own voice. So when he's talking, you can obviously tell it's not actually coming out of his mouth. Even though he's talking, like, they went over and, like dubbed over his own performance with his own voice, which is weird. I don't know why the fuck they did that. Like, it's obviously dubbed. Everybody else is talking in a certain volume and whatnot. Like, it sounds like they're a little further away from the camera or whatnot. And then whenever Val Kilmer talks, it doesn't really quite match his lip movements, and it's just so obviously louder than it should be. It's dubbed, and I don't know why. Maybe he was trying to do something. Like, maybe he was trying to have an accent, because I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be... I forgot where this takes place in. I completely forgot, because everybody talks with either a British accent or just their regular accent. Like, Michael Fassbender didn't even try with any kind of accent. But it takes place somewhere. I forgot completely. But, I think Norway, maybe? Is it Norway? I can't remember. But it takes place somewhere, obviously. Not here. But you would never know. You would never know, because... no one has an accent. Maybe Val Kilmer was trying to have an accent, and they were like, well, for some reason the director didn't tell him, like, we're not going with that or something, or whatnot, and so we'll have to redub it so it won't be weird that he's the only one who has an accent. But also I heard he has throat cancer, so maybe that's the reason why. But I'm pretty sure it's his own voice. So I don't know. Anyway, he shouldn't be on screen anymore, is what I'm saying. He looks like a potato, so just don't, you know. Unless he's in stuff like MacGruber. He was great in MacGruber. But anyway, and he fit his character, so it was okay. So yeah, that's really all I have to say. I can't think of anything else. Again, Fassbender's okay. Rebecca Ferguson I really like. She's fine in it, but her character even like gets disposed of quickly. You don't even know if there's a point in the movie where like it looks like she's maybe dead. There's a part where she gets her finger cut off for a reason that's stupid anyway. Well, I mean, it's not stupid, but whatever. I mean, it creates suspension for whatever, or suspense, not suspension. For a stupid reason, just to cut the finger off. But you don't really know if she's dead or not. She only got her finger cut off, and the next time you see her, she's in a car, just like motionless. She has her eyes closed, so you don't know if she's dead, and they cut away, and you never talk about that character again. What the fuck? Really? She is the second billed character or actor in the movie. She is a important character to the story, and they don't even tell you if she's alive. What the fuck? Like, see, it's just like me thinking more about this movie. There's more and more shit that's just like, what the fuck were they thinking? Like, I'm just gonna say, like, they just cut out a bunch of this movie. I'm just gonna say that. Like, there just feels like there's scenes missing, you know? There feels like there's scenes missing and scenes that were supposed to be longer, but they just took one part of it and just added it randomly into the story. Like I said before with the flashbacks. Like, Val Kilmer's role, I bet, was bigger in the original edit or whatever, or at least the script, his performance was... you know, or his character had a bigger part. I'm sure in the book his character's like a big deal, you know? But in this, he's like in it for 45 seconds. He walks, and by the way, Toby Jones shows up for a minute. Like, they have so many actors that show up for like a minute. Like I said, Chloe Sevigny, you think she's gonna come back again. She shows up, she talks for about a minute, she dies, she comes back again as her twin. She says, I'm sad. By the way, she does not sell it at all, because she just found out she died, and she's like, she's been my friend for my whole life. Yeah, not even a tear. They could even like get an eyedropper and put a fucking fake tear in her goddamn eye. It's just like, I don't know, that sucks. She didn't say that, but whatever. Point is that it just doesn't feel like this movie even belongs on this planet. Like, I'm talking about the setting and the characters do not feel like they're from this planet. There's no emotion at all. Not one person like cries. Like, And when this is a movie about characters dying, like a bunch of people die in this, you would expect at least one fucking tear come out of someone's fucking eye, but you never see it because we don't focus on these characters enough. And when we do, they're just like bland, like, I don't care, I'm just doing this for my fucking paycheck. I don't give a shit. I don't know. It's bad. So, I don't know if I'll do a review for this. This might as well just be the review. I'd give this a fucking low score. I can't think of anything good about this fucking movie. I really can't. It was a boring, tedious mess that is just absolutely generic. And when it's not generic, it is bafflingly, like, ridiculous and just nonsensical. It is a mess. It is bad. I couldn't believe this movie was this bad. I get it. Fassbender has been picking some really bad movies lately. Assassin's Creed. I would rather watch Assassin's Creed 5 times before I watch this movie again. This movie is fucking tedious and bad and just and so hollow. It feels like it was made by a robot. That's what it feels like. It feels like it like put in all these ingredients to make a passable thriller, and they put a little bit of a snowman premise in there, and they cranked the fucking machine, and out came the Snowman. Even have a good title, like I said. Like, anybody read this book? Anybody read it? I did. It was a great story. Tarnished forever, because now I think about like Chloe Sevigny's head on this motherfucker. Great. I'll think of Val Kilmer getting his head blown off, and then his head replacing Val Kilmer's. Thanks, fuckers. Thanks, Fassbender. No, it's not his problem. Well, at least Fassbender's gonna be in the wait, what is he in? Is he in something coming up that I think looks good? I don't know why I'm asking you guys. But all right, well, anyway, there you go. That's the Snowman. It's a fucking piece of shit. You know, I just want to skim through this trailer one more time. Oh, there you go. That's another thing that doesn't happen. Yeah, I'm doing this for you, Harry. No, he's not. That never happens. There's an explosion. There's a couple explosions that do not happen. Well, there you go. That's Rebecca Ferguson's character's finger. This is how he finds her. She looks a little cold, so she's probably dead, but you don't really see anything. That's also Rebecca Ferguson, him and her fighting, which is a stupid scene. The snowman shit. You find out, like, the reason why he's doing this, the snowman killer, is because he was treated shitty as a child. Like, his mother just said fuck it and she died, and he's just like, you know what, I'm gonna kill all mothers because they don't like me. He has such a dumb fucking reasoning. It's so generic. It's just like, oh, my mom said fuck it. Like, you see exactly why he does this in the first 5 minutes. You understand completely. Not that you understand, like, oh, I get it, but you understand why he's killing people. You know, there's no mystery behind it. And I feel like that should have been shown later on in the movie, the first 5 minutes. That should have been a dream sequence. Like, not even dream sequence, but like when Fassbender and the killer are talking, like that should have been the moment where it showed the scenes that they showed in the beginning of the film. But there's like an explosion that never happens, like right here, actually. Right here. Right here. Not explosion, I'm sorry. A fire. That never happens, by the way. Never. It never happens. Like, that's supposed to be at the end because it's snowing and stuff, and he's wearing the same clothes at the end of the movie. Never happens. By the way, actually, never mind. Based on a terrifying bestseller, yeah, I bet it's real fucking scary. I'm sorry if you keep hearing the clicking. That's my mouse, obviously. I don't know. There's like 2 good scenes in this movie. I feel bad for the writer of this fucking movie. I mean, of this book series, because he did not get his own. Let me just say that. Yeah. Oh yeah, they showed the sausage. Yeah, that was a dumb fucking scene too. That's the part where his mom gets killed in the beginning of the movie. Yeah, that's bad. That's all I have to say. Again, this is but that's the prostitute that I was talking about before, who is seemingly used against her will. Like, there you go, you see her there. You know, she looks weird there. Yeah, no, okay. And it's Chloe Sevigny. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. I know I've said that's it about 4 times, but I'm done now. If I had to give it a score, I'd give it a 7 out of 40. It is abysmal. It's so bad. And it's easily Fassbender's worst movie. And that's saying something because he had some bad ones in the last little while. But it's worse than anything he's ever done before. It's worse than anything Rebecca Ferguson's done, especially the director. The director has made a couple good movies in the past. This will always taint his fucking resume to me. And I don't blame him, but I still have to be like, okay, maybe he's at fault, you know? Because those other two movies were different. They weren't like, well, I guess Let the Right One In was kind of a thriller. I don't know. I was excited for this. I was excited. Bad. Anyway, Rick and Morty reaction will be up tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this anyway. Thank you, and until next time, goodbye.